Simple. Simple, simple, simple this is. So here we go. Now, first thing I'm going to write up here, all right, is this fact. And you can tell me what must be true. All right. Come on now, start listening now. If I say X times Y equals 0, what must be true? Thank you for saying that. 100% true. One of them has to be 0. All right. When you multiply two things together and you get 0, one of them is 0. Can they both be 0? All right. All right. Avery, we're ready. It's automatically 0. All right. They both could be 0, but more than likely one of them will be 0. One or the other has to be 0. So this, we're starting out easy. All right. This, I hope everybody can look at that and say, that is a quadratic. Why is it a quadratic? Because if I multiply it, I will get x squared, correct? All right. So now this is x and this is y. So how is it that that equals 0? What will be true? If one of them is what?
0.
Equals 0. Now, what do I mean by one of them? This is the first factor, and this is the what? Second factor. One of them has to equal 0. So all you do is set the factors equal to 0. So you just say 3x plus 1 equals 0, and 2x minus 5 equals 0. Now, because we are brilliant, and believe it or not, we have already done this in my pre-algebra class. All right. Everyone in here should be able to solve this and solve this mentally. If not, you are below a pre-algebra student. All right. And I am not exaggerating, and I'm not kidding, and it's not funny to me. All right. Everybody should be able to look at the first equation and say, obviously, x could equal -1/3, or x could equal 5/2. Everybody should be able to do that. All right. Now, at the beginning of the year, we practiced this. Last year, we did this where we did -1, -1, 3x equals -1, divide by 3, divide by 3. Boring at this stage in your career. Everybody's just going to look at that and tell me what the answer. And if not, you need to practice that. You need to be able to look at things and say, well, obviously that's the answer. All right. Now, before I move on, go.
Wouldn't that be x equals 5/2?
I'm not sure what you're not seeing. Maybe it's not big enough.
Y equals 5/2?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
This, a good question. These were just examples. X and Y, right? It's saying if I multiply those two things together and equal 0, one of them has to be 0. Either x has to be what? -1/3, or x has to be 5/2. Those are your options. Before, we always had x equals just one number. All right, right now I'm telling you, you have options. X can either be -1/3 or it can be 5/2. That's how simple. So the rule is to solve. First, it's got to be set equal to 0. All right. Then you set the factors equal to 0 and you solve it. All right. So because you paid attention, this is called a cubic. Why is it called a cubic? Because there are how many x's? 3. So if I were to multiply it out, you would end up with an x cubed, blah, 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 and something else. I'm not asking you to multiply it out. All right. I'm showing you that what do you do to the factors to solve? Set them equal to 0. Now, how do I know we can set it equal to 0? Because automatically it is what? 0. Hey, I cannot have distractions. So here, this is like x, this is like y, and this is like Z. So if I said X, Y, Z equals 0, what has to be true? One of them has to be 0. Could they all be 0? Yes, 2 of them could be 0. But at least what? One of them has to be 0. There's no way around it. All right. So all you do is you set the factors equal to 0. So how many factors are there? 3. So you say X equals 0. X minus 8 equals 0. 2X minus 5 equals 0. At some point, you're not even going to have to do that. But right now, we're just getting started. So everybody's going to do that. And then you're allowed to just write X equals 0, 8, or what? 5/2. All right. Now, technically, there's supposed to be a what in here? Or. All right. Now, some people also are under the impression that if I plug 0 in here, I can plug 5/2 in here. Is that true? No. If you plug a number in for X, the same number has to be plugged in. I'm just simply saying, in this case, there are how many different possible answers? 3. If X is 0, what's going to happen to that equation? It's going to equal 0. What if X is equal to 8? The answer is going to be 0. If X is equal to 5/2, what's the answer? 0. All right. That's super, super important. All right. And actually very powerful.
So for those 3 options, those are all referring to one of them? Because you pointed out.
Yes. 1. No, come on. Come on. All right. If I say X equals 0, 0 would have to be plugged into all 3 X's. If I say X is 8, X has to be plugged in, or 8 has to be plugged into all 3 X's. 5/2, they have to be plugged into all 3. You can't plug 0 into 1, 8 into 1, and 5/2 into 1. That's not how it works. The same X must be plugged into each X. All right. So now 5, why do we have a problem on number 5? Because it's not what? Factored. So we have a problem. If you don't know how to factor, now what? You just don't know how to do it. That's it. You just don't know how to do it. You can't do it. All right. So this is what I was saying about me being frustrated. I will explain the factoring again, but all but a couple of you are good at this. That's why you got to practice some more. All right. So what did I tell you first to do when you try to factor? What is it? No. GCF. You have to pull out a what? 9X. Always look for a GCF first, every single time. So there is a common 9X. Now, again, you should try to factor out the 9X on your own and see if you know what you're doing. Then if what I'm putting on the board is not what's on your paper, now you ask. And I tried to tell a parent this morning, some of you, all you do is sit and write down my answers and think you're in good shape. And I've told you for 2 years, that's not the way it should work. You should be one step ahead. You should look at your paper now and say, well, I got X minus 2. And if you got that, you know how to factor out a GCF. All right. Now, step 2. All right. After you've factored completely, you set the factors equal to 0. So here we would say 9X equals 0, X minus 2 equals 0. And so X could be what? 0, or X could be 2. Now, how do I know I'm right? Because I did the problem. All right. Or instead of saying it like that, you can say, I checked my work. That's how I know I'm right. So if I plug 0 in, what is 0 squared times 9 minus 18 times 0? 0 minus 0. So I'm correct. Now I'm going to plug in 2 just to see if I'm good. Thank you. What is 2 squared? Times 9. 18 times 2. 36 minus 36. How many solutions are there? 2. How do I know there are 2 solutions? The fundamental theorem of algebra is that the degree will tell you the number of solutions. So there are how many solutions? 2. All right, there are 2 solutions. What?
So the exponent number is how many?
Solutions there are. That is correct.
Also, why is 9x and x minus 2 considered factors?
Because if I multiply 9x times x minus 2, I will get 9x squared minus 18x.
Okay.
3 is also a factor. 3x is also a factor. 9 is a factor. 9x is a factor. Anything that can divide evenly is a factor. All right, here we go. Hopefully everybody's paying attention because she's asking the question everybody else wants to ask. So here we go, number 7. Now again, everybody, because we did 86 of these easy factoring problems, everybody should already have this down. And in about 2 seconds, you should already have the answer. That's how fast it is. All right, and if you can't factor it that fast, go back and do all 86 of those problems over. So this factors to what? X plus 4 times x minus 5. And I hear some of you saying, well, that's not what I got. I got x minus 5 times x plus 4. Is there a difference? There is no difference. It doesn't matter where they go. Now, do I really have to put x minus 5 equals 0? Yes, today you do. You're going to write that in. And so x can be what? 5 or -4. There is nothing to it. If you're good at factoring, then you're like, man, I got another easy grade coming up. Here we go, number 9. Uh-oh, a little bit harder. Factors of 72 that are 27. I'm waiting patiently for somebody to jump in and tell me what that is. Definitely not 9 and 8. What? Nope, it's not it. 9 and 8 makes 17. What are the, say it again. 27 times 3 is 81. Come on, don't just say numbers. That's what I'm saying. That's what's happening on the test. All right, come on, find the factors of 72. Now, for those of you guys who are struggling with that, please listen. I know you know now, but listen to what I'm saying. Do you agree 8 times 9 is 72? All right, that's not working for me. So what is 9? 3 times 3, right? So now, instead of doing that, just push a 3 over with the 8. How much is the 8 now? And what's 3? 24 times 3 must be what? It must be 72. That's how easy it is. I'm trying to show you, and you're not even listening, some of you. I'm not expecting you to go, oh, obviously 3 times 24. Everybody knows that. No, everybody doesn't know that. Everybody can find that just by writing down 9 times 8 and moving the factors. Does everybody understand what I'm saying when I say move the 3 over to the 8? If I wanted to, I could have moved 8 to what? 4 times 2 and pushed the 2 with the 9, and that would make it 4 times 18. Everybody agree with that? All right, I could have pushed the 4 with the 9, and then it would be 36 times 2. And none of that worked. So then I broke down 9 to 3 and 3, pushed the 3 with the 8, and magic. 24 and 3 makes what? If they're both positive. X plus 24, x plus 3. Now, notice I hate writing this out because I can look at that and tell you what the answer is. But still, I'm going to do it. X plus 24 equals 0. X plus 3 equals 0. So x can be -24 or x could be -3. And guess what happens if I plug 20 or -24 in for x? What am I going to get when I plug -24 in? 0, for those of you guys who understand. What happens when I plug -3 in? I will get 0. Trust me, it will be there. All right. So now let's knock out 11. All right. Now this is a medium factoring. All right. Medium factoring. So take the 30 seconds and factor it. Go. All right. And you can see where you're at. And I know some of you are struggling and you still haven't asked me a single question. And then we're going to be at the end of the year and you're going to go, man, I just wish I would have opened my mouth a little bit. Going to high school. You got to learn to ask. And some of you are sitting there not knowing and you're not asking. What?
How do you get negative?
I subtracted 3 from both sides. Subtracted 24 from both sides to solve that equation. Now you're in the game. Go back and do number 11 quickly. All right, because now you're behind. You haven't even tried to factor it. Hurry up. And those of you guys who are like, man, this is simple. Just do 13. All right, then do 15. Then 17. The only way I can make 3x squared is with what? 3x and x. That's it. So I'm going to throw down 3x and I'm going to throw down x. Miss Panchola, you good with that so far? Now, factors of 16. I told you, start with the middle factors. So I'm just going to throw down 4 and 4. That makes how much? And that makes how much? It's funny, I looked on some of your tests. Some of you never even had those marks on there. Doesn't make sense to me. Does that work? 12 and 4 does not make 2. So now I cross out 4, and now I'm going to try 8 and 2. Now, if you're thinking just a little bit, if I throw 8 over here, that's why that arrow is there. When I multiply that, it's going to be what? Way too much. That's the logic. That's all there is to it. For those of you guys who don't know, please speak up now. All right? Please speak up. 8 must go over here. 2 must go over here. Now, how much is this? 8x. How much is this? I can't make it any easier. 8 and 6 will make -2 if 8 is what? And 2 is, that is it, kiddos. That's it. Now, how much do I hate writing 3x minus 8 equals 0 and x plus 2 equals 0? I hate it. It is a waste of my time. You should be saying it's just a waste of my time. Please, can I just write the answer? Yes, write the answer. Now, I'm going to write down x equals what? 8/3. If you're like, man, I have no clue how you got 8/3. Now's the time to ask. Or what? -2. That is a good answer right there. And like I said, I'm not begging you to ask me. Or I'm not. You got to learn. Think for yourself. Speak up when you don't know. Go. Oh, wait, what? Never mind. You sure? Come on.
I thought I would be positive, but I just missed.
You see it now, right? Okay, what? Seriously, put on your paper x plus 2 equals 0.
Oh, wait.
13, here we go. Ooh, ugly, 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 ugly. Why is this one really bad? 36 is annoying. To top it off, there's a 6 on the left. So there's a bunch of combinations of numbers. That's why this is hard. So here we go. Not for us, though. I told you to go with the middle factors. What are the middle factors? 3x and 2x. Now, can I choose 6 and 6? No, there's nowhere for the 6 to go. It has a common factor everywhere. So I don't like 6 and 6. So then the next one would be 9 and 4. Now, where does the 9 have to go? On the right. Where does the 4 have to go? On the left. Let's see if that works. What's 3 times 9? 4 times 2. Now that is considered a really hard factoring problem. And it's a nightmare for some of you. And for those of you like, this is super easy, that's super great. All right, really simple. So now I have 8 and 27. Can that make negative 19? If what? If the 8 is positive and the 27 is negative and still equals 0. All right, because we are big kids now, X equals what? No, not 4/3. Negative 4/3 or what? 9/2. And some of you, I don't know what you're doing. All right, please write out the whole equation yourself. Subtract 4 and then divide by 3. On the second equation, add 9 to both sides, then divide by 2. All right. Anybody have any questions? All right, let's have some more fun. Ooh, 15 is kind of what? Ugly too. Lots of factors. You're right, not really. All right, if you know how to do it, it's not really hard at all. Just takes patience. All right, and again, I'm just calling out some of you who didn't do well on the quiz. You're still sitting there, not asking me anything. It's not going to change next Wednesday. All right, 2 sets of parentheses. What did I tell you to start with? 4x and 4x. Is 3 and 3 really going to be big enough? No, because I can't get to 70. So now I'm going to try 9 and 1. Does that really work? No, it's not going to be nearly big enough. So instead of 4x and 4x, I scratch that and make what? 8 and 2. All right. 8x and 2x. Ooh, now I'm trying to get to 70 and I see 9 times what? 8 is close to 70. Is everybody with me? All right. I'm trying to show you exactly how my brain is thinking. So I have to throw a 9 over here because it's connected with the 8 to make what? And if I throw a 1 here, that's connected with the, and I want a positive 70. So the 9 is, and the 1 is, I can't help you guys. That's it. That's how simple. Simple, simple, simple. Right? Now, again, put the answers down, and then I'm going to put the answer, and then you can learn for yourself whether or not you know how to solve a 2-step equation. Put the answer down on your paper, and then everybody should look and say, well, I know X is either 1/8 or -9/2. That should be on your paper with little thought to it. And I know some of you last year, remember when you were struggling with those 2-step equations? Like that was the hardest thing in the world. Easy, simple. All right, let's try again. 17. Uh-oh. If I'm not careful, I'm going to forget to do what? Correct, greatest common factor. Now listen to me. All right, I need your attention here. What's the greatest common factor? 3. Does 3 have a variable to go with it? So I can divide everything by 3. Divide by 3. Am I allowed to divide by a variable? Never in math do you divide by a variable. Are you allowed to divide by constants? Yes. You cannot divide by a variable. Is there a constant or is there a variable in the GCF? No, not a variable in the GCF. Does everybody agree? All right, so all I have to do is divide by 3, and then I get x squared plus 10x plus 25 equals 0. Simple piece of cake. What is it? Because I said at the beginning, factor out the GCF. So I could have factored out a 3, right? It's kind of like this, watch. It's kind of like 4 plus 8 equals 12, right? I could divide by 4. 1 plus 2 equals 3. Does it change anything? You see what? Make it easier. Yeah, making it easier. That's exactly what I'm doing. So that factors to what?
X plus 5 and x plus 5.
That's right, x plus 5 and x plus 5.
So x equals -5.
Now, do you have to say x equals -5 twice? Of course not. All right, I want people to write this down. X equals -5, and in parentheses, I need you to say that's actually called a double root. All right, when a number occurs twice in the solution, it is called a double root. It's called a double root. All right, when it is set equal to 0, these are called also the zeros. The zeros, is it ES or S? That's weird. I forgot. Is it just S or ES? I think it's S. Zeros, but I forgot. I told you, math. If it's math, I can do it. Is it ES? All right. Thanks a lot.
Heroes is like heroes.
That's not right. That is not right. You're a 0 if you think it's ES. Oh, all right. I think it's just S.
No, it's an ES.
Did you just look it up?
No, I know for a fact, because it's like with the O, you have to add the ES.
Not always.
I know like it's spelled.
But it's
in
in heroes. It's
just
the
like.
same thing.
It's not always.
HERO.
What is it?
Look it up. Yes.
Hold on. Watch this. This is fun.
Yes, it is zeros.
Shh. Siri, how do you spell zeros?
It's zeros.
Shh.
Zeros,
No, it's.
ZEROS.
You're welcome. So once again, I'm right. Imagine that. Zeros. Yeah, I know for a fact. So anytime you tell me about facts, I'm ignoring it. Thank you very much. All right, here we go. Let's have some more fun. All right, now everybody look at number 19 real quick. I need everybody to put, I need everybody to put equals 0 there. All right, that's my typo for the day. No, that's my secretary's typo. All right, here we go. Now, again, here we go. This is factoring by grouping. All right, there is a common what? X minus 5. So then X plus 4 comes out. And so X is equal to 5 or -4. Okay, eventually, boys, you'll get a little bit, more mature. All right, doesn't have to be that way. Really doesn't. So I'm at 5 or -4. Anybody have any issues with that? All right, so let's continue on to 21. How many solutions are there? 3 solutions. Thank you. There are 3 solutions because it says x cubed. So I'm now going to have to factor by grouping. So here we go. And here we go. So what's common? X squared. When I pull that out, I get x plus 1. What's common? -4. What's left behind? X plus 1. Now what's common? X plus 1. And then that is correct. Are we done factoring? No, because x squared minus 4 can factor. So what does that factor to? Exactly. So now you see the 3 solutions. All right, so here's how you write the 3 solutions. Again, those of you guys, some of you need to put x plus 1 equals 0 and x minus 2 equals 0 and learn 1-step equations. All right, but for the rest of us, we're allowed to put, watch, x equals -1, comma, now watch this, plus or minus 2? That would be the answer. Plus or minus 2. Tell me.
Why wouldn't it be,
Shh, shh.
like, I know it has to be the same, but like, would.
So how do we get positive 1? Is that right? Because watch, kiddo, I told you to divide numbers. Dividing by -4, dividing by -4. What's -4 divided by -4? Positive 1, right? And -4 divided by -4 is this positive 1. You with me now?
Yeah.
I also want you to know, remember, factoring out a negative just means change all the signs. That's all it means. All right, change all the signs. All right. Anybody? What?
Why aren't we writing or?
You can write or, go ahead. All right, but you're right. It can't be and. X can't be -1 and 2 and -2. All right, that's why they kind of let it slide. All right. So again, those are the solutions. Yes, sir. I don't care. I'm just showing you what. That's the way mathematicians will do it. Because they're lazy. They write as concisely as they possibly can. To the point. No, not even close. All right, 23. 23. The problem here is what? It's not equal to 0. It's definitely not equal to 0. So let's make it equal to 0. What do? Move the 10 over. Just throw the 10 over. When you throw 10 over, it's going to be what? 2x squared minus x minus 10 equals 0. And now what do? Shh. Factor. Exactly. 2 sets of parentheses equals 0. So what do I get with 2x squared? 2x and x. Factors of 10. Can 2 go on the left? No, it's got to go on the right. And some of you, I don't even think you understand that. You're just too chicken to ask. 5 goes over here. How much is this? How much is this? I need it to be -1. So the 5 is negative and the 2 is, so then we say x equals 5/2, comma, or -2. There we go. All right, here we go. 25. How many solutions are there? 4 solutions. What, seriously, what are you asking me? Shh. Shh. What did I say? What did I say? Thank you, you're welcome. All right, here we go. Now we're factoring. All right, this was on the test. Very similar. Everybody knows how to factor this. This becomes x squared minus 9. Is that us? Okay, hold on just 1 second, guys. What I want everybody to work on is, let's do 1 through 24. All right, I want you to do 1 through 24. And then tomorrow we'll do a little bit harder, and then we should be able to finish it up. Hey, I'm not kidding now. Those of you guys who are struggling, all right, you got to get it done. This is going to be a lot harder. All right, everybody's doing 1 through 24 for homework. All right, Evan, hopefully you understood everything. Hopefully you hear me clearly. You have a great day, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow.
You too. Bye.
All right, take care of yourself, buddy.
You too.